Who gets...
I will be there for everyone. I will be there for everyone. As we head toward our...
Live to hunt. Live to hunt. I've come to send you to your grave.
A fresh face.
Gotcha. You can't escape me. Very well.
Your fury begins to stir.
Behave now. Devour.
It's but a splash in the limelight.
Till my last breath.
Triumph at the theater!
This is epic shot.
Applaud for me! Glorious!
At the helm. Let the tempest strike harder. Climax of the show.
Nice teamwork! That's some attack. With me! With me! To victory! Great darkness!
Listen carefully. More passion. No worries. Let the tempest
Speak
strike
of the
harder.
devil, I'll show you.
The gates of hell.
Baby flames. Explode.
The hell with you.
Listen carefully.
Bang. Behave now.
Hutch! Hold you now! A shame.
You can't escape me.
Kiss of me! Into... The fight is on! Please, Bill!
At the helm.
The hunt ends here.
Time to go.
Same act,
Gotcha.
different role.
Rise from hellfire.
More married. Keep the tears coming.
Painted hellfire.
Climax of the show.
Speak of the devil by my trigger. Enter Hell's Gate.
Scorched to earth.
Behave now.
Oh, yeah, it's my lossless scaling. It's not a technical difficulty. I keep forgetting to do that. It's one of those things where it's easy for me to fix, but I forget, and I need people to speak up. But you know, people get cozy and they watch, and they lurk. It's kind of a Murphy's Law kind of thing, right? You think somebody else is going to mention it, but they don't, because they think that somebody else is going to do it. It's easy to fix. It should be okay now. Let me see. Yeah, it's all good now. Yeah, that happens a lot in streams, even like ones with way more viewers than I do. You know, like the sound will be off, or it's like lagging or something, and you know, sometimes like minutes will pass and somebody will say like, you know, is the sound cutting out for anyone else, or like is the video laggy for anyone else? And then like that causes everybody else to say, yeah, it's laggy on my end. But yeah, I gotta get in the habit of doing that. It's my fault, really. I gotta get in the habit of doing that, and I'm not yet. I'm still getting the hang of it. Yeah, welcome.
遅い。逃がすな。
Like, for instance, my stream VODs for, like, a decent chunk of this year, were 30 FPS, and no one said a thing. I don't know how popular my VODs are, but I've had numerous people say that they can't watch live because I don't really have a schedule, for one. I just stream whenever I feel like, and if I feel there's something interesting to stream, and, like, my stream VODs were 30 FPS for months. And no one said anything. I didn't notice until like a couple weeks ago. It's just a matter of people speaking up, but stream culture, you know, no one wants to say it. I think maybe they worry that the streamer will get mad. It's like, no, I'm more mad you guys aren't getting a good viewing experience. That's what bothers me. Not when people, you know, point out that there's technical issues. I know how to fix it pretty quick. It's a couple mouse clicks. It's not a big deal.
よ。また会い
ここにも竜神と。
こちらの居場所は筒抜けというわけですね。
ま、だからといって引き下がるわけにもいかないんだけどね、ヤクモ。
問題ない。始末する。
Oh, it wants me to go this way. There must be something down here then. Glad games are just copying DMC5 in that regard. Just tell me where to go. Don't waste my time. Just tell me where to go. I'm not playing this for exploration. I just want to fight, man. I thought that maybe there was a secret down there.
そういえばヤクモ、さっきのって。
この容器にも結節が使えるみたいだ。
ほう、ただの武器ではないと思っていましたが。
結節？
What's up, man? Hello. You see that footage I
今のは何だ？
posted in my Discord?
強いさん、詳しくは後で。今は先を急ぎましょう。
It's competent revive gameplay. Hang on to it, you doofus! What's the point of stuff like this?
で、さっきの結節って何？
ヤクモ君は魔力の宿った武具、例えば妖刀などを血で変質させ強化できるのです。これを結節忍術と呼んでいます。
それでその忍術が容器でも使えたと。
ええ、どうやら容器もただの武器ではないようですね。
そりゃ封印の一からにしてくれたから当然。
that didn't go as planned. Rule of cool didn't work. All it takes is a competent player to sell a game like that, huh?
まさにあそこの中心部が本殿。ヤクモ、そのまま道なりに進んだら空白神明社の入り口よ。
Stop talking.
ああ、だが橋がない。
ここは随分と風が強いですからね。
Stop yapping.
どうしたものか。
He doesn't need people to talk to. Yap, yap, yap. This game's got a decent amount of forced walking sections. There's one right here. Alright, stop talking, please.
よく来たわね。ありがとう。また来てちょうだい。
You see what other Tosen moves are worth buying. Got the hang of some of them already, but yeah, what am I doing? I don't need to go to this guy, huh? Kind of want to save my money. Not really using healing items that much, but I still like to be topped up. Intenzan.
ユスリカは長時間の滑空を可能にする街灯です。最新のファイバー素材を使って昆虫の羽を分析再現。最軽量最小ながら 200CN までの耐荷重を実現。技術の進歩は胸が躍りますね。
うんちくはいいからさっさと歩く。
Well, see, you say something like that, but the grandpas who like this series are saying the game is too easy. It's been the rhetoric around this game is it's too easy. It's not too easy. Well, the platinum part is the boss fights don't suck, which was always the problem with the Ninja Gaiden series. Is the boss fights were garbage. They were not fun. Most of the mechanics didn't work. Gacha pull hits done. All that's gone. So, personally, I really like the game, but I tend to approach these things with an open mind. I'm of the school of thought we don't get a lot of games like this in the first place, so unless it's, you know, complete trash, I think people should at least give the game a shot. But at the same time, some of the complaints are definitely warranted. Ryu only being at the end of the game and only having one weapon, and then if you want to get, you know, another weapon for him, you gotta go buy DLC. Like, that is warranted. That's a warranted complaint. I don't want to sound like I'm calling everybody out for, you know, just hating on the game. There are legitimate things to hate about it, but as far as I'm concerned, none of them are the gameplay. I'm liking this game way more than the other ones, and I've played them all. I've played them all, so this game is vibing with me a lot more. but people seem to want it to fail, which like doesn't make sense because you know this is a niche series that hasn't had an installment in 13 years, and that's counting Razor's Edge, not Vanilla. And like Vanilla was way worse than this. Vanilla is a terrible game. Vanilla was a joke of the game. And it's the same thing with Lost Soul Aside. People hating on that game. I'm like, dude, this game is not terrible. It's not a bad game at all. Lost Soul Aside was not a bad game at all. It's the same thing where like people just want to hate the game from the start. It's like, do you actually like these games or not? Lost Soul Aside is a solid game, and it did have a lot of problems, yes, but they fixed them extremely quick. They were putting out like 2 hot fixes a week. They were not looking to do a pump and dump. They clearly believed in the product and wanted to release something good. And everybody was just hating on the game. I'm like, did you guys even play the game? Like, Lost Soul Aside is solid. It's not a bad game at all. But there's so many clickbait YouTubers saying it's the worst thing ever made. I'm like, you guys need to have more media literacy if you think that game is the worst. Especially like they fixed the problems with it like quick, within a month, and not even like one big fix. They did like multiple hot fixes. Like they were clearly dedicated to making a good game, but the game just had a bad reception from the start. But most people who played it actually gave the game a chance and played it and didn't just piggyback opinions from clickbait YouTubers. Actually really liked it, myself included. I don't regret buying the deluxe edition. This is the deluxe edition outfit, I think. Either that or the pre-order one, I don't know. I have the deluxe edition. I'm a big ninja simp. I love ninjas, man. Love me some ninjas. Yeah, this batch of character action games, people have just like hated them openly without even playing them. And I can understand the apprehension to a degree, you know, before they started showing gameplay, but the marketing for this game was pretty good, actually. They had competent people playing. And that's like the thing that gets me to buy games like this, is if like there's somebody at least above average playing it. They don't have to like beat the game, you know, beat a boss, no damage, while you know, playing with their feet or something, but at least like show the gameplay. The game played properly. That's a big thing that will get me to buy a game like this. And the marketing definitely did its job, because I did not get any kind of hookup for this at all. I paid for it with my own money, so well, I had some friends help me, but I did not get any kind of hookup from the company. Well, I think about Neo 3. I think it looks awesome. I'm very apprehensive about the open world. I don't think they really need to do open worlds. That feels excessive. And trying too hard to cater to modern trends. But there are some benefits to it. I think the exploration would be a lot better for one, and then you could actually jump as well, which was... I'm one of the people that always hated on... As much as I love the first two games, I always hated on the fact that you couldn't jump, and how much it ruined the level design. So, we'll see. I should be able to get a review key for that unlike this.
大丈夫。ヤクモ、そのまま進んで。
了解。
Neo 3 looks solid. It's just... I think it's going to have open world syndrome. Much like people that try to make Souls-likes with small budget. Where, you know, there may be things that are better than the big open world games, but they just don't have the budget. That's a problem with open world games. You know, Sonic Frontiers was a good example. Like, obviously, Sonic Frontiers does not have the budget of a Grand Theft Auto or an Ubisoft game, but like they kept the world small. It was more, they called it, their official term for it was open zone, right? Which means that it's open areas, but it's not like a big expansive space. That would be my biggest concern, actually. It's not easy to make an open world game with like a shoestring budget. And we know that those games don't cost that much to make. A big chunk of what they've shown already, a lot of the movesets and stuff are recycled. So, I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith that they can make a compelling open world. Just like Souls-likes, you know, the Team Ninja games are objectively better combat-wise, at least in my tastes, compared to FromSoft games, but, you know, the level design and everything is so much worse, right? It's just like exponentially worse. You know, you kind of have to look past it. It's like, you know, if what matters is the combat to you, then those games are better. But if you're looking for, you know, a very immersive world and good exploration and stuff, like, you're not going to find that in a Team Ninja game. You're just not going to. But yeah, I think that they got their work cut out for them a little bit too much. Well, Rise of the Ronin mostly suffered from not having DLC. There's a lot of legitimate criticisms about that game, but as somebody who's played all their action RPGs extensively, the biggest problem with that game is just it didn't get DLC. And with like Team Ninja action RPGs, the DLC is legit like half the game. It's very strange that it didn't get any. At least there's that. Neo 3 will probably end up feeling more complete and will have more content simply on the basis of it's getting DLC. Like, pretty much, I always tell people I've streamed hundreds of hours of their RPGs over the years. I always tell people, like, don't buy it unless you're gonna get the DLC, and if you're, like, gonna play past the credits, because getting to the credits in those games is essentially the tutorial. Like, the whole meat of the game is you know, the combat and the gear and the grinding and stuff and making a build, the build crafting, and like that's the biggest flaw of their games for sure. That's what I thought was better about Kazan. Kazan was a good game. Kazan had a lot of different flaws, but one of the things I really liked about Kazan compared to the Team Ninja games is that you could actually do builds on the first playthrough. I thought that was a massive improvement. Problem with Team Ninja games is they're a lot like Monster Hunter games. Getting to the credits is like not actually beating the game. Like, you gotta invest quite a bit into it. But yeah, Rise of the Ronin didn't get any of that stuff, so it just feels unfinished. It's really weird how it didn't get anything. I don't really understand why it didn't. No, that's not true, because, every Neo game has been PlayStation exclusive initially, except this one that's coming up. The next one actually is going to be on PC at launch, but that's not true. There must have been some other reason. The game sold pretty well from what I heard, so I really don't know a reason why they didn't do DLC, but it definitely hurt the game overall that they didn't have it. Just like Fire Emblem Three Hopes was the same thing. Like, Three Hopes is a good game, but the only thing there is to do in the game is the story. And the problem with Three Hopes is it was too easy to get overpowered, so the story became a walking sim of sorts, where you just kind of plowed through it, and there wasn't any challenge anymore, no matter what you did. Like, that game really needed DLC as well. It's a good game. I think you can actually get it for pretty cheap for a first-party Nintendo game, but yeah, it just didn't have anything besides the story, and the story was too easy to break, so it lost a lot of value really quick. As much as people complain about DLC, there are times where it's a good thing to have. Team Ninja action RPGs is one. Muso games, depending on the type of DLC it gets, like Samurai Warriors 5, for instance, did get a season pass, but it basically added nothing. So, you know, nobody bought it. I don't know who that was for. You know, a game where everybody hated that there were so many clones and stuff. You know, they didn't add any additional weapons and anything. It's basically just like skins, and it was like $30+. It depends on what type and volume of the DLC is, but there are games that benefit from actually having DLC more than people want to admit. I enjoyed Three Hopes. I played it like a good 60 hours, but it kind of just got to the point where it's like, you know, I don't care about Fire Emblem. I didn't grow up with it. I don't like, you know, strategy RPGs, so the whole crossover part of it I didn't care about. And like gameplay-wise, after the first playthrough, you just became really OP, but there wasn't anything else in the game. They gave you New Game Plus, but I mean, that was basically it. Be interesting to see what the DLC adds to this besides the weapons. So far, this has been a pretty good campaign, from what I've seen. There haven't really been any overly overbearing gimmicks. Been pretty straightforward. Maybe a little bit too much forced walking, but other than that, it's been fine. Yeah, Ronin and Three Hopes were games that suffered from having no DLC. Still good games in their own right, but they just didn't feel finished. I just didn't like the combat of Ronin. It really wasn't vibing with me. I didn't care for the gameplay loop of, you know, wait for them to do a counter, and then you get to hit them like twice, and then they go back in armor again. I really wasn't feeling it. I gave it an honest shot. I really wasn't enjoying it, like, at all. Perception of that game seems kind of mixed. Some people really liked it, but I think most people that played their previous games didn't like it, for a number of reasons. Combat was still good, but I think a lot of their legacy players didn't vibe with it, myself included. Also, there were like no builds at all. There's like no build crafting in that game at all. I guess they wanted it to be more honest, but that's one of the things that gutted the replay value. They didn't have builds. There's no builds in that game at all, from what I saw. There's like only a handful of builds. You can't be creative in that game. I don't know, the marketing for Neo 3 needs to step it up though, because they haven't shown any new weapons. It's still unclear if it's going to be like a modern Monster Hunter type thing, like since the 4th gen, where they don't have new movesets, but they add new stuff to them, or if there actually are going to be new weapons. It's very unclear. I mean, I would hope that they would, but the game's like less than 4 months away, and there's been nothing about it at all. So I hope that it will have more weapon types, but it's hard to tell. They might be doing it like Monster Hunter. New stuff for existing weapons, but no like actual new type. I definitely think the DLC for this game is like the one thing I agree about, people hating on it. But I think people failed to understand that was totally decided by Microsoft, because like it should be obvious, because like the only 2 games that got significant DLC out of anything Platinum has made was pretty much Wonderful 101, which barely counts because that all came from the remaster, right? It was not the original release, not the Wii U version, and then Metal Gear Rising. But the DLC in that was like not even much of anything. I guess it was decent for the time, but it didn't really extend the life of the game that much. The only good thing was Sam. No one really cared about the Blade Dog. Well, I think it should be obvious Platinum didn't make that decision. They wanted a big game out to start the holiday season on Game Pass because they knew that they were going to jack up the price this much. And this is probably the best thing they could get. Would not surprise me if they were like almost done with it already, but being told it was worth it.
像の動かし方を教えなくて。
いやもうヤクモが壊してるからいいんじゃない？私は怖くてそんなことできないけど。
Take two. I didn't know what to do.
よく来たわ。これで終わり。さすがね。お疲れ様。 た聖地だったのよ。
詳しいですね。さすがは黒龍の巫女。
そういえば黒龍の巫女って一体何者なの？カラス一門ではあんな伝承の解釈されてなかった。巫女はもともと黒龍を守護する存在だった。黒龍が魔に落ちるまではね。黒龍を初めて封印した時、万が一解かれたとしても再び封印できるよう黒龍の魂を巫女に入れ、代々その魂を継いでいった。それが私たち黒龍の巫女だから、私の中には黒龍の魂が入っているのよ。
Jump scare! Where'd you come from? Bozo. Get out of here. They need to stop spamming these enemies. They're zero fun to fight. Spamming that enemy a lot. Whack enemy. Not even really engaging to fight, it's just annoying. Really proud of that enemy. Least interesting one so far.
よく来たわね。ありがとう。また来て。
See if I can bolster the moveset a little bit.
どれどれ。
Hello, buddy. Timing on that's probably really tight, huh? Save up. There should be a couple more moves left, I think. Let's look at the moveset here. Oh, hold on. Only got enough for like one decent move.